This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 42.
Welcome to the show that focuses on helping real estate agents build a bulletproof business plan so that they can sell more properties in less time and live a more fulfilled life.
Are you a real estate agent with an entrepreneurial spirit who wants to turn your job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan to help you get there? Well, then, hey, I think you're definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. And to help you take immediate action to build a better real estate agent business or get yours started for the first time, I've created a free jumpstart course that's great for both rookies and veterans over at freeagentgift.com. That's freeagentgift.com. It's an on-demand course that will really give you a nice wireframe so that you can organize your thoughts and not feel like you're all over the place. So get over there and get started. But I want to talk about today in this episode something that I call the Prospects Club. And I record a lot of these podcasts right after running my mastermind group, our mastermind coaching group, and we bubble up these important concepts because working on your business and developing that managed brain or that strategic brain bubbles up and simplifies. When you really obsess over something and you work, the irony is things get simpler. So there's always much ado about funnels, right? That's the big word of the day. Moving somebody from a contact from a lead disposition to a prospect disposition to a client disposition. That's what I would term the conversion module. And people worry about, well, how many leads and how many phone calls and what do I say? But yet they never really stop and start thinking about, well, what is a prospect? And what is this concept of having a group of prospects really mean to me? Well, it's everything. Because a group of prospects sitting somewhere in some database that you control is really the lifeblood of your business. It's what gives your business consistency and predictability in a business where there really isn't a lot of that. So this whole concept of making it an imaginary club, that there's a certain level of person that gets introduced to the club and accepted into the club, right? I know that sounds a little bit weird, but stay with me. There's always a method to my madness here because I want you to feel proud of that club that you're creating. You're the president of this prospects club. And that's where people get treated with white glove service. Members of your club, they get the best real estate agent treatment that there is out there, this highest standard. If you hang on to that, you'll be able to follow me a little bit better. So let's go backwards a little bit, though, to the last episode where we have this concept of lead, which bothers me. The industry has drowned us in this concept of lead. The Glenn Ross movie, even back in time, these leads are no good. Yes, they are. Well, the truth be told, a lead is a contact information or batch of information. We don't know much about them. We don't even know if they want to sell or they want to buy. So why don't we start working back the other way and saying, hey, we work with some clients that we really liked. And how did we get them? Because the stage right before client is prospect, meaning there was a prospective opportunity to turn them into a client and we were serving them. We were following up. We were giving them information. Something was happening. And so the real question is, well, how do we create that prospect? How do we go to this extent where you can really figure out who's even worthy of the time to try to prospect? And we went back and we said, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell? How motivated are you to buy? And depending on where they were at, as long as they were at least an 8 to 10, then at least we had some chance to turn them into a prospect who merits heavy club membership attention inside that 12 months. Those are the people that we really need to treat with the white glove service, top notch, Ritz-like service, right? So you have to define really what that is first. Now you know what it is. Now you know who belongs in the club. But now comes the opportunity where, hey, that all worked. Guess what happened? I was out and I met somebody and we started talking about real estate and I was feeling a little lost in it. And I said, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell? And they said 10. And I said, whoa, great. I have a prospect. And that's the first point here. Great. You have a prospect. Now what? What do you do? Right? What do you do? Well, I think that's where you have to have this simple concept. Instead of worrying about all these external technologies, websites, CRMs, etc., what about the MLS? right? What about the MLS? What about the back end of a multiple listing service that you presumably, I'm talking to mostly realtors who have joined an MLS and they have access, right? And even if I'm not, you'll understand the analogy. You pay for that already. Your dues is to be part of what other club? That's my second point. The MLS club. You are a member of the MLS club, the Realtors Private Club, where we have access to all of these listings. That's the marketplace. And we pay for that. And now as MLSs have evolved, they've levered technology to be able to automatically send properties to people. And we scratch our head and say, well, yeah, that's standard. Everybody does it. No. Hold on. In the beginning, and I've been around long enough to know as an investor and a doer of the thing, I used to run down to the brokerage and get the booklet and look at all the pictures. It's what I wanted as a prospect. I was a prospective buyer and I wanted access to the information. So then once Realtor.com opened up Pandora's box and gave away MLS to the public, that was just going to be the new way that we did things. But you know what? We started to discount the value of being a member of MLS, of being a realtor. We are the insiders. And now technology is caught up, and really it doesn't need to be complex and wild. If some prospect that you've created needs to know what's selling around them, you simply put them in the contact manager that comes with your membership. And you tell them that you're able to send them the properties that they want to know about. The nosy neighbor. Hey, my neighbor sold for this. I think mine's worth that. That's what they want, right? So we have this prospect. Put value back in your club first and then upgrade them, right? Your prospects club is very much related to your MLS club. It's sort of like saying, hey, why don't you come work with me and I'll give you the insider information as a realtor. Now, I know a lot of you are going to explain me away and say, well, you know, this technology company, that technology company, they syndicate just as fast as this would go out. Yeah, but that's where the next point really comes in. When you create a prospect, you're actually telling them that you will upgrade the access, right? You'll upgrade it. Look, if it's a syndication site, like a lot of big tech companies are, they go down and they scoop the info out of MLS and they put it on their site. That's called syndication. There are some that are direct brokerages and they populate it directly. But ultimately, multiple listing service is the club. And that's where we as agents bring our product and list it so we can share it with each other. That's still a very viable spot. So if I upgrade you to have direct access to that, that's a legitimate statement. I've just upgraded you. I can get in there myself. There's a key point I'm going to turn on here. I can get in there myself. I can put more data in there that is in alignment with what you want. See, if you go to a site, you might be perusing it night after night. You might be able to put in some parameters, but you're really left to your own devices to try to figure out those sites and get specific if you're a prospect. Whereas if you will just come with me, you can stay on those sites too. But if you'll come with me and allow me to upgrade your details and what you want or what you need to know, I'll put it directly into the source in the MLS club. And then you become a member of my personal prospects club. And by the way, what that comes with is my insight. Let that sink in. Not only did I upgrade your access in my mind's eye directly to the source, but it comes with me. All of you realtors out there, it comes with you and your insight, your ability to see what they're looking at, refine it, go do proactive work to try to find them more properties that affect them and give your opinion, your insight as to days on market. How long was it on? Were there price reductions? Did they stage it correctly? What do the pictures look like? That's all insightful information. And technology is never going to replace that kind of insight that comes only from human guidance and opinion. So this upgrade is not just access to MLS directly. It's you with it, adding your insight. We're getting into a tighter knit relationship with this prospect. That's why the club is so fabulous. And along with that, if you're a TRC follower anyway, you'll know that I am huge on simple strategic plans. So once I give them more in-depth of what they want. In other words, that was kind of weird the way that came out of my mouth. I give them more deeply what they want, more property information that's specific to what they want or need to know if they're going to sell. And it comes with my insight, right? So that allows me to get into this much more individualized process with my prospect. And that's why I want you to have it as the sense of a club, because really, come on, how many prospects getting the white glove treatment do you really need to do extraordinarily well? Not that many. Because remember, going all the way back to the last episode, you had some good questions to really ask them, how motivated they were, why they were at that number. And now we're into this episode where we can offer this upgrade, and they will either accept it or they will not. Pretty simple. So it's not like we're going to just throw a whole bunch of whimsical inquiries into our prospects club. We're actually going to only be giving people the white glove service who want it, who are willing to receive it. Now, we're not going to jam it down on them and push them. We're going to find that their timing inside of that 12 months is X, and we're going to respect that. But we're going to be able to go into that insightful relationship, which allows you to do what? It allows you to sneak in. Sneak is, I'm overusing it, a little tongue in cheek, right? It allows you to insert your strategic plan as well. See, if I'm giving you a lot of what you want, properties, and I'm giving you insight, I'm educating you, you're appreciating me. And the law of reciprocation is that you will allow me to also say, look, because you're going to buy or sell in the next 12 months, strategy is important. And when I work with my clients, wink, wink, hopefully you'll become one, I want you to know how I work. So I have these 7 steps to sell. I have these 6 steps to buying. They're universal, but it's important you put them in the right order with me and that I assist you with any that you're worried about. So not only am I giving them the property information, but now I'm able to be a unique professional and add the strategy to it, which is like giving a listing presentation all along the way, a buyer presentation all along the way. I'm dramatically demonstrating my professionalism while they're in the prospects club. I'm not waiting till this one-off moment that hopefully I'll meet them on the hood of a car, jam my buyer or seller presentation, in their face and say, hey, listen to this. No, I'm making it part of an integrated process that's professional and individualized. And that leads me to the last point here in the prospect club part, right? Is that it's very important that when you're following up after that first creation, you make sure everything's working. One of my own agents said, yeah, I put them all in this stuff and I got lulled to sleep by technology. I forgot to see that there was an email that they had to accept and click on so that there was granted permission from the MLS. MLS is not going to spam people because they need properties to get delivered. So there's an absolute double opt-in. They can say yes, but they have to click the button. So he had missed that and he was wondering why he hadn't heard from them. See, that's the problem with technology. It sucks us into this safe place where we believe, oh, I did all the hard work in the open house. I created the prospect. I set them up. They said yes. Everything's hunky-dory. And then all of a sudden we fall asleep. And that's the siren song of technology. It allows us to feel more comfortable, which makes us lazy and we forget. Lean in heavy right there and make sure the minute the first email goes out, everything's working technologically correct, right? That's key. And I got a little bonus for you here. What's popped up in my mastermind a lot is that I can give this tactical way of doing things, but there's this mindset that was missing. And several of my mastermind members who are very good tacticians, in other words, they're able to teach the scripting and the formula, they were missing the connection to the core unique selling proposition of their companies. In other words, they didn't quite buy in fully that this whole entire strategic professional approach was indeed what makes them unique. And they weren't communicating that to the people who are responsible for getting on the phone and prospecting. So can you imagine all the disconnects? And when they finally fixed that, it's stunning how quickly they got a more positive result. People were empowered to go out there and just say, no, you've got to listen. We've got a better way for you. And I want you to be educated on this. And even if you don't hire us, so they were very enthusiastic about it. Okay. So the Prospects Club, bullet points. Great, I have a prospect, now what? Well, start to introduce them to the fact that the MLS is a club. That's where all the inventory lives and it's valuable and you're a member of it. And you can bring them into your club and become part of the Prospects Club connected to MLS by upgrading them, the next point, to have access direct from the source with your insight. And that's creating follow-up in a very individualized way, and they will begin to see this USP of you being strategic. So to summarize that key point, stop letting the tail wag the dog, okay? The technology world is a tool, not the new master. Right? We as agents are irreplaceable when it comes to insight. So leverage the tech. Don't let it control you or scare you. All right. Remember, you can take immediate action and get started in the right direction with our free video course over at freeagentgift.com, freeagentgift.com. It's a wireframe. I've even now made it an on-demand course. So all of you that want to consume it quickly, it's there. It'll come in your email, and go look in your spam. Make sure I don't end up in your promotions file, because it is the foundational wireframe, I guess is the best way to put it, that will keep you organized so that when you hear tips from these podcasts and elsewhere outside of my world, you can put them in context and you can say, is that the next thing I need to work on? Okay, so get over there, get yourself started. If you like what you learned here, then of course we'd appreciate it if you would share these insights with other entrepreneurial real estate agents just like you, so that they can find their way right here to join us. Hey, don't forget to subscribe or follow us on whichever platform you're listening. And of course, if you like what you hear, I would really appreciate if you gave a positive review, because people love to feel like they're not the first, right? We also broadcast our live sales training on Facebook every Friday at 1 o'clock EDT. So remember to like our page so you won't miss the notification. Hey, thanks for listening. As usual, I'm humbled to serve you and give back to the industry that's been so good to me, and I look forward to helping you in the next episode.
You've been listening to The Realty Classroom with Danny Griffin. Join us next time to continue learning how to build a smarter real estate agent business plan that helps you live a more fulfilled life.